Lonnie Franklin Jr. For decades, a serial killer was hunting women in south-central Los Angeles, nicknamed the Grim Sleeper due to a seeming 14-year gap in killings between 1988 and 2002. Lonnie Franklin Jr. targeted vulnerable women, mostly black, many struggling with addiction, and left a chilling trail of bodies behind. The killer used the same brutal method each time: sexual assault followed by gunshot wounds. Despite similarities between cases and mounting public pressure, investigators couldn't find a suspect. The killer left little physical evidence, except for DNA found on some of the victims. The case went cold. But in 2010, a new approach changed everything. California had recently approved the use of familial DNA searching, allowing law enforcement to compare crime scene DNA not just to exact matches, but to potential relatives of people in the state's criminal database. That's when they got a hit, not on the killer himself, but on his son, who had recently been arrested on a weapons charge. Investigators realized that the DNA found at multiple crime scenes was likely from someone closely related to him. This narrowed the focus to Lonnie Franklin Jr., a 57-year-old mechanic and former city employee with no serious criminal record. To confirm the match without tipping him off, undercover officers posing as waiters at a restaurant collected utensils and pizza crust from Franklin. The lab confirmed it. His DNA was a match. Lonnie Franklin Jr. was arrested in July 2010. A search of his home uncovered photos of over 180 women, many of whom remain unidentified. He was convicted of 10 murders, but suspected of many more. In 2016, he was sentenced to death. He died in prison in 2020 while on death row. Albert Fish. Between 1924 and 1934, Albert Fish killed at least 3 children in New York, though he claimed to have harmed many more. The 54-year-old painter was one of the most disturbing killers in American history, targeting young victims and writing sick letters to their families. Fish would lure children by pretending to offer them work or treats, then take them to remote locations where he would kill them. Fish's biggest mistake was his twisted need for attention. In 1934, 6 years after killing 10-year-old Grace Budd, he couldn't resist sending a letter to her mother. In the letter, he described in horrific detail how he had taken and killed the girl. What Fish didn't realize was that the envelope contained a crucial clue. It had a small emblem from the New York Private Chauffeurs Benevolent Association printed on it. Investigators traced this emblem to a boarding house where Fish had once stayed. When police arrived, they found Fish had recently moved out, but had left his belongings behind. They decided to wait for him to return. When he did, he was arrested without a fight. Fish confessed to multiple killings and revealed shocking details about his crimes. In March 1935, he was found guilty of first-degree murder and was executed by electric chair in January 1936. Aileen Wuornos. Between 1989 and 1990, Aileen Wuornos killed 7 men along Florida highways. The 33-year-old woman claimed the men had tried to assault her while she worked as a sex worker. Wuornos would shoot them and steal their belongings, often taking their cars and driving them until she found another victim. Her biggest mistake came after murdering Peter Seams in June 1990. Wuornos and her partner, Tyria Moore, took Seams's car and were driving it when they crashed and had to abandon it. The problem was that witnesses saw them fleeing the scene and gave police detailed descriptions of both women. When investigators searched the abandoned car, they found fingerprints that matched Wuornos's criminal record. Police knew who they were looking for, but they needed her to confess. They tracked down Moore and convinced her to help. Moore agreed to talk to Wuornos on the phone, while police recorded every word. After several conversations, Wuornos finally broke down and confessed to the murders. She was arrested on January 9, 1991, and later admitted to killing all 7 men. In 1992, she was found guilty and sentenced to death. Wuornos was executed by lethal injection on October 9, 2002. Thozamile Taki. Between January and October 2007, Thozamile Taki murdered 13 women in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. The 38-year-old man earned the nickname Sugarcane Killer because he would lure victims with promises of jobs or romantic interest, then take them to remote sugarcane fields where he killed them. Taki's fatal mistake was trusting the wrong person. He involved his girlfriend in his crimes, thinking she would keep his secrets. Instead, she became terrified of what he was doing and eventually went to the police. She helped investigators piece together his movements and identify locations where bodies were found. Making things worse for Taki, he couldn't resist using his victims' phones and belongings, which connected him directly to the murders. In 2010, Taki was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to 13 life sentences. He died in prison in 2011 after attempting to escape. Israel Keyes. Israel Keyes was a serial killer who operated under a terrifying set of personal rules. Never kill close to home, never use the same method twice, and never leave a trace. Between 2001 and 2012, he is believed to have killed at least 11 victims across the United States. His crimes were meticulously planned. He buried kill kits in remote areas years before using them, and he chose victims at random to avoid detection. But one abduction didn't go as planned. In 2012, Keyes kidnapped 18-year-old Samantha Koenig from a coffee stand in Anchorage, Alaska. Surveillance footage showed her being taken at gunpoint. Her family received a ransom demand from Keyes, who typically killed without contacting anyone. Keyes made a critical mistake. He used Samantha's debit card to withdraw ransom money from ATMs across several states while on a road trip. Although he wore a disguise, the ATM cameras captured grainy but useful images. Police were able to track the route using timestamps and security footage. The breakthrough came in Texas. A state trooper, tracking the suspect's pattern of ATM withdrawals, spotted a white Ford Focus that matched witness reports and pulled it over. Inside, they found the stolen debit card, Samantha's cell phone, and the same ATM disguise hoodie seen on camera. Under questioning, Keyes confessed to Samantha's murder and admitted to multiple others. His calm, chilling demeanor stunned investigators. He later took his own life in jail before all his crimes could be fully traced. Peter Sutcliffe. Between 1975 and 1980, Peter Sutcliffe murdered 13 women and tried to unalive 7 more across northern England. The 30-year-old truck driver became known as the Yorkshire Ripper, attacking women in quiet streets and back alleys with a hammer before stabbing them. For 5 years, Sutcliffe managed to avoid capture, even after being questioned by police multiple times. But his luck finally ran out on January 2nd, 1981, when officers found him sitting in a parked car with a sex worker in Sheffield. What seemed like a routine check turned into his downfall when police discovered he was using stolen license plates. At the station, officers noticed Sutcliffe acting strangely and decided to search the area where they had found him. Hidden nearby, they discovered a knife, hammer, and rope that Sutcliffe had ditched when he saw the police approaching. When questioned again, the pressure became too much. Sutcliffe confessed to all the murders, claiming he believed he was on a mission from God to kill sex workers. In May 1981, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. He died in November 2020 from COVID-related complications. Stephen Port. Between 2014 and 2015, Stephen Port, a 40-year-old chef in London, killed 4 men by drugging them with GHB. He met his victims through dating apps, then staged their deaths to look like overdoses near his home. His mistake was digital. Port reused the same online profiles, devices, and patterns. After the 3rd victim died under similar circumstances, police reviewed phone records and noticed all the victims had contacted the same username. Investigators searched Port's laptop and found internet searches for drug dosages and fake suicide notes. He was arrested in 2015 and sentenced to life in prison in 2016. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more similar content and let me know in the comments which case shocked you the most. Bye.